Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, where we can't do anything yet. But what we can do is work towards getting additional fascist support. That is almost certainly something we want to do if we want this game to go anywhere ever, because I have a feeling it's not going to at the current rate. Let's tick on forward, and we need to build up some political power at this point. I don't want to change any other laws for the moment, but going to partial mobilization was very worthwhile, in my opinion, so that'll be absolutely great. And we're going to want to go for something like a fascist demagogue or something along those lines as soon as we get 150 political power. That, of course, is going to take a little bit. So we'll let that tick up, and in the meantime, we are working on our construction here, and this is all civilian factories for the moment. However, once we have concentrated industry, we should be able to queue up additional civilian factories, which we almost certainly will want to do. So that's reasonably fine. We could queue them up in our vassal states as well, and I think we probably should, but it should be at the bottom of the list. As far as priority goes, very, very low. We don't need this in Kashmir. Actually, you know what? I've changed my mind. We're probably never going to get to that point. We'll see how that goes. But for now, that's likely going to be the case. We are up to 43 political power, and that's cruising upward in a reasonable way. We definitely want to get our political power up, and we're getting these construction... Ooh, construction 1 finished. Perfect. So let's actually grab... Construction 2 is slightly ahead of time. We might want to take excavation 1 first, but I'm not going to. I'm actually going to take construction 2, even though it is slightly ahead of time. That's okay. We'll get there. So that's all looking good. We're going to have concentrated industry 1 done in 48 days. So that is going to increase our number of max factories per state by 20%. So that is going to allow us to build a significant amount of additional civilian factories. So that sounds good for right now. We've not set up any proper templates. I don't see a reason to do that just yet. We'll do that a little bit later on, maybe like next episode or so. I have not looked into what the current meta is for that, so I'll have to do a little research on that. It's okay. I just haven't had time to do it just yet. So we'll get there soon. It's not a high priority. We're not going to do anti-fascist raids, that's for sure. I do think that we basically have to go either communist or fascist, and we're already in the direction of going fascist, so that seems okay. I'm not too concerned about that. Construction effort is finishing up now. There we go. And that gives us a free civilian factory, which is great. We can, of course, grab construction effort. Well, that was just construction effort 2. I want to grab infrastructure effort here. There we go. And that'll be absolutely fine. So at 72 political power, we definitely do want to bring up our political power here. Is this changing at all? No. At this point, there is no daily change. Okay, good to know. So that's absolutely okay for the moment. We're going to need a lot of political power, in theory, but for now, we're basically just chilling. And we may want to bump this up to speed 5, which I have now done. There's a whole lot of nothing happening right now, right? And that's a little bit unfortunate. War support is currently at 60. Yeah, the games of the Olympiad were held in Uganda. Okay, the games are concluded. Cool. So that seems reasonably fine. Of course, Germany doesn't exactly exist. So that's one of the reasons why this is going to be spicy. Concentrated Industry 1 has finished, and that is, of course, great. We can go to Concentrated Industry 2 or Improved Machine Tools. I think I'm going to go for Improved Machine Tools first. So that'll be fine. We'll get that underway. The next research to finish will be radio. That's a pretty unimportant research, in all honesty. So that's reasonably fine. And we're up to 86 civilian factories in use now. That looks good. We do have an unassigned division, and I'm going to toss that into this army. And we have a free military factory. Remarkable. I did not expect to have a free military factory here. I guess we could toss it into our towed artillery. And we can also do something like that for infantry equipment. If we get any extra, that'll be okay. So that seems fine. I do want to put in that demagogue. That is our next move here. So that'll be okay. We've got about 20 days until we have that, so around the time the infrastructure effort finishes. Sounds good. We'll allow that to happen. And eventually we'll have that election. That is going to be next year, though, August. So still almost a year away. So we've got lots of time then. We'll select our next national focus, which I'm going to go with construction effort 3 here for the extra civilian factories. There we go. That'll be fine. And now we can put in that fascist demagogue, which we will absolutely do. And that looks great. Yep. Popularity of fascism is going up. So that'll be absolutely fine. We do want to swap over to a fascist government here so that we can actually do things. Being able to do things would be nice. No doubt about that. So radio just finished. I want to hop in and grab excavation 1 at this time. So we're going to get that underway. We're not really focusing too much on military research at this point. We'll get caught up on that. Fascist assault divisions have formed. The political and the martial have always been intertwined in fascism. In parallel with its growing political movement, fascist parties have begun to form paramilitary organizations to protect against both internal and external threats, the internal threats being their political opponents. Although many people find this development worrying, the wave of militaristic fervor has led to an increased amount of volunteers joining our armed forces. The political leaders of the movement have pointed out that their opponents have reason to be afraid. Having the army permeated on several levels by so explicitly political elements, the enemies of Russia and the enemies of fascism are beginning to look very much alike. Only traitors to the country have anything to fear. Absolutely. So that seems great. Additional fascism support coming in and fascist assault divisions increasing our recruitable population sounds nice. Beautiful. So recruitable monthly growth has gone up a little bit. That is great. And we can unlock traits in the military industrial organization, the infantry equipment manufacturer. Okay, so this is new. I've not experienced this before at all. Apparently we can't have this window open and not this window. That's interesting. So drum pattern sites here gives our infantry equipment plus 3% defense. Okay. Reinforced stocks would give us soft attack and reliability. And heavy anti-armor ammunition would give us hard attack and piercing. So one of these is probably considered ideal, but what would we be most interested in? Honestly, probably soft attack. I feel like. Soft attack into breakthrough seems pretty decent. Sure. I'm wondering if we can come back and get these later. Traits can only be completed by gaining funds from assigning to research or production lines. Okay, that's interesting. We have no policies available there either. Okay, we'll have to mess with that later. I'm not entirely sure what that all means. We'll get there. That is definitely new. I have not experienced that before. So that is reasonably fine. And now we can do it again, apparently. This is specifically our artillery. Okay, so this is breakthrough, this is defense, soft, hard, and air attack. Production efficiency gain, or just soft attack. I kind of feel like soft, hard, and air is really strong. Let's take that for now. Okay, that seems good. And we're at 141 command power right now. We max out at 200. So there's not really a lot that we want to spend our command power on, is there? Mechanical computing has finished, and I would like to grab computing machine. That is quite ahead of time. And we may want to consider grabbing concentrated industry 2 instead. So let's grab that for the moment. And as far as what we could spend our command points on, I suppose we could spend some on getting the ability to do, say, probing attack. But I don't think there's a lot else that we want to spend our command power on at this moment. Yeah, and we'll just let that build up. There's not a lot to be done just yet. So that seems reasonably fine. I want to check in on our not our logistics here, on our production. How are we doing on specifically construction? Wow, we're up to 95 factories at this point. Okay, that's a construction effort finishing up, giving us 2 additional, 97 factories now. And of those, 30 are going into consumer goods. Okay, that is expected. I want to grab infrastructure effort 2 next, and we want to grab those extra research slots basically as soon as we can, right? That is the current goal at this point. So that seems fine. And we can see at this point we're at 50% fascist, so that is looking solid. We should easily win the election there. We are low on supplies, which does surprise me a little bit. Checking in on our production here. I think it's just supply delivery. I don't think it's anything else. I mean, they have no orders assigned. We don't have an unassigned division here, and we'll move that on into this army. That'll do for now. And we're currently at 112 political power. So we need to decide what we want to spend our political power on next, right? We could definitely add an industrial concern. Electronics research speed would be interesting for sure. That would help us get additional research done. We could also add a theorist here, building up, say, a land doctrine cost reduction. That's maybe not a terrible idea either. We could do that. We could also consider dropping off of export focus into, like, limited exports. However, that would need to end up being closed economy, and for that, our government would have to change. So that's probably not going to end up being a thing. We could consider going down to limited conscription. We can't go to extensive conscription yet because we have to be at war, and the estimated enemy strength ratio has to be at 50% or more compared to our army. So this is not something that we can do. We'll have to wait until we change over to fascist for that. So no problem there for now. And we are definitely getting solid constructions going here. We're up to 101 factories built now. So that's looking very, very good. We, of course, can queue up additional factories, and I would like to do that at the beginning of the queue. So that is control-click in this game. Okay, so we're just going to go through all of these locations where we have things built up. That's in Ordazuz over there. We would need to come down over this way. Is this within the Sikh Empire? Yes, it is. Okay. So that would be fine. We'd then come out over here and then down in Borneo, but that's already maxed out. Okay, so that seems good. We have additional factories queued up here. There are a number of factories still in the queue, and we're going to continue to work through that at a relatively rapid pace. We're definitely making good progress here. Improved machine tools just finished up. And let's work next on, advanced machine tools is going to be too slow. We could definitely do improved equipment conversion. We could also theoretically work on fuel refining, which is interesting. You know what? Let's grab that. We've got lots of fuel, no doubt about it. And that's a good thing. We're going to want that fuel. For sure. That will be very useful for us. So we're at 147 political power right now. We could do a region-wide industrial integration, which will give us a building slot in Tver. I don't think that's the biggest deal, though, ultimately. We could add another political advisor here, and what would we be interested in? A political power gain is interesting, for sure. A significant reduction of the consumer goods factories here, though. Minus 15%. We're going to take that. Beautiful. So that then puts us at 26. So that puts 4 consumer goods factories, or rather civilian factories, towards construction. I like it. There's our infrastructure effort finishing, and of course we want to grab a research slot just as soon as we can. So we're going to go down that route. That'll be absolutely fine. Construction 2 finishes, increasing the speed at which we construct. And that's also wonderful. This is about 2 years ahead of time. We could definitely grab excavation too, though. And I think we're going to do that for right now. So we're just focusing extremely heavily on economic upgrades right now, because there's not really much we can do militarily. There's nothing happening in the world. As expected, we need to be the instigator of the action. And we're not exactly in a position to do that until August. However, once we get there, that'll be nice. So we do have China out over here. I'm curious to know what they actually have deployed for their fielded manpower. Okay, so 182k to 340k. How much do we have deployed? Well, we can see we have 27 divisions here. How much overall manpower deployed is that? Okay, 260k. Noted. That is definitely noted. So I wouldn't mind attacking China. Of course, we'll have to justify, and we'll definitely want to set up some different templates. But we're probably going to need army experience for that. I don't know if we'll have enough army experience to do it. That might have to be something that we do after we start fighting. I think I want to start fighting China if we can. China has non-aggression pacts. They're currently still fighting that French war. I don't think that war is actually happening. I don't know. That doesn't seem to be a thing. Excavation 1 has finished. And that, of course, means that we need another thing to grab here. We could build synthetic refineries. I don't think we need to go that route, to be honest. Fuel gain from refineries is all well and good. Let's grab our equipment conversion speed for right now. Just continuing to work our way through those various technologies. We will be getting another research slot very soon, which is, of course, excellent. We want to get that going as soon as we can. And we're at 74 political power right now. We are going to want another advisor, maybe another consumer goods factories reduction, or maybe this construction speed guy. That might not be a bad idea. Okay, so we have that research slot, and I want to grab extra research slot 2. Absolutely. And then we want to grab something like... probably nothing in here. At this point, maybe we do go for computing machine. Yeah, let's get that started. That's in an extra building slot anyway, so that'll be fine. We'll get that underway. Looks solid. So we've got a lot of research ongoing right now. Things are looking pretty good for us on that front. We're going to be finishing concentrated industry shortly, and we do get access here. Okay, so we can grab, I think, everything here, in theory. Design team change cost does cost army experience. Noted. So, from here, we could definitely grab one or the other of these. I feel like semi-automatic rifles is the way to go. So we're going to grab that for the moment. That'll be fine. We also have an unassigned division here, and we'll just toss this into this army. Now, we should probably start researching some form of armor. What do we actually have for armor right now? So if we go into our production, we could think about producing some form of armor. Okay, we don't have anything available here. Noted. We also aren't currently using support equipment. We probably want to have some amount of support equipment production. I'm going to do that. There we go. That'll work. Excellent. We have no template that is using that, but we're going to want the support equipment, so that'll be fine. Concentrated Industry 2 has finished, which would allow us to go to Concentrated Industry 3, but that is, of course, ahead of time. And that's okay. I want to hop over to armor, and I want to start getting interwar tank development. Let's get some tanks going here. And yeah, we can use this tank manufacturer. That'll be fine. So we want to have some form of armor, right? That'll be ideal. Some form of Air Force would be nice too, but for the moment, we don't currently have that. But we're going to start working on that very shortly. So that all looks good. We can get our artillery upgraded here. We already grabbed, I believe, rapid fire, so we could go into sliding beach block here. That'll give us additional soft attack and breakthrough. And we can also go... Is this requiring hydraulic recoil system? It is. Okay. So we'd have to go either stable platforms or mobile limbers. I kind of like the breakthrough more. So we'll take that. Sounds good. Cool. Now, of course, we don't have a template that is using this support equipment, but that's okay. I want to still be tossing some factories at this. We're going to need it eventually. So that all looks absolutely fine for the moment. I do want to put in probably this captain of industry here. So we'll be able to do that very, very soon. 137, 138, 139. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit yet. Few more days here. So right about now, we can put him in. Perfect. And there's our extra research slot done. I want to throw this into probably air research. We have some air research already done. I would like to start moving our way into probably just small airframes for now. we can get started on that. That seems fine. And we do, of course, need our national focus. And at this point, what are we interested in? Well, we could go into armament effort and start getting some of these military factories for free. And that seems absolutely great. We're going to do that. So that seems wonderful. We're currently at 119 factories, now 121. Beautiful. Now 122. Now 123. And this is going very, very quickly. Fantastic. That seems great. We can, of course, queue up even more, and I'm going to do that. So we're just going to queue up what factories we can here. And that seems absolutely wonderful. There are quite a lot of these that we want to queue up. And I'm putting these at the beginning of the queue, which is not necessarily the ideal location for them, because we have some progress here already that we're kind of bypassing. But it's okay. We'll get there. We want to get these done eventually, right? So that seems absolutely fine. There's excavation 2 done, and that seems good. Next, we probably want to go for construction 3. We are a bit ahead of time. We could go for concentrated industry or advanced machine tools as well. It is 1.34 years ahead of time. Maybe we don't do that. Maybe we go into, say, support companies here. And we start getting things like field hospitals are not able to be researched yet because we need this. Let's get that going. Getting some support companies will be almost certainly necessary for our desired template redesign. So that'll be good. I'm not sure what those are going to look like yet. We'll get there. But with 6 research slots, we're making solid progress. No doubt about that. So this all looks good. And we're making solid progress on all of that. As time ticks forward, of course, we'll be more interested in pushing down those other research lines that we are obviously very interested in. Armament effort has finished, getting us additional 1 military factory. Okay. And we'll get another one going here. Looks great. We have low supplies up over here. If we are indeed going to attack China, we may want to set up a front line out over here. And maybe even another one over here. It would be just literally right there. Okay, noted. So something along the lines of that. They'll make their way over. And it'll take them some time to get there, but that's fine. We'll just get them on the way over. And the question is, can we take over China relatively quickly? That is indeed the question. And with relatively little interference. That would be the ideal scenario. Improved equipment conversion has finished, and we can then potentially go to construction 3. We're still over a year ahead of time on that, so I'm not going to go down that route just yet. We could continue to work on developing our artillery, and I think that's reasonably fine. Let's grab the M1940 107mm. This is, I think, a little ahead of time, right? Actually, that's 1.21 years ahead of time. Maybe we should grab an anti-tank gun. I guess that's fine. Cool. So we'll get going on that. We have very low supplies in some of these areas, and I'm not surprised about this. But as we get spread out here, we'll see what that ends up looking like. A little bit better. Emphasis on the little bit. We do have some potential supply issues down over here. So let's take a look at the supply map mode. And we can see that we're going to need to do some constructions. I'm going to build a supply hub about here. And we're doing this at the beginning of the queue. I'm going to put one here. Up here looks broadly okay, but one there is maybe not a bad idea. And then I'm going to put one here. I'm going to put one here. And then one up over here. That's going to require a railway, and we're just going to put that in like that. And I think a level 5 railway is probably overkill. Let's make this be level 2, the same as the rest of these railways. So we'll get that underway, and that is going to be eating up all of our construction for a little bit, but it's going to be necessary, I think. So we'll get that done. Cool. And we should probably think about upgrading our railways as well. Now, our infantry equipment can be further upgraded. We are going to need to grab, say, medium machine gun production. That'll be okay. Wonderful. And fuel refining has finished as well. So from here, we're interested in potentially grabbing Improved Infantry Equipment 1. That's probably a good thing. Yeah, get going on that. Fantastic. So, did our election happen? Next election, August 1941. Interesting. Apparently our election did happen, and the Democrats are still in charge. Remarkable. Well, we might have some decisions that we can make on that soon enough. We're definitely going to start going down, as soon as we get finished with Armament Effort 3, we're going to start going down the political effort into collectivist and then probably nationalism. But the current ruling party will need to be fascist for that. The next election's a long ways away. I did expect for the fascists to win that election. Remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. Well, it's fine. We'll continue on here. And we, of course, should consider grabbing, like, medium tanks, I think. Yeah, we'll do that. That'll be okay. We can unlock additional traits here. So this is going to be our tank manufacturer. So we've got reliability, max speed, soft attack, and defense. I kind of want reliability here. Okay. So armament effort 2 is finished up. We want armament effort 3. There we go. And we do have a spare military factory at this moment. So what do we want to use that on? Let's build an interwar medium tank chassis. And I would like this to be a medium turret. What type would we want? Well, we kind of want this thing to be all about the breakthrough, I feel like. So a 3-man turret might do the trick there. We could do a small armament of an anti-air gun, just to have some amount of air attack. And then we could do a secondary turret with like a heavy machine gun for soft attack to deal with infantry. Beyond that, we could do a radio, which would be useful for the breakthrough and the defense. We could do a special module over here, additional machine guns. I do expect this to be primarily fighting infantry for right now. And then we could toss in some, say, sloped armor. We could toss in fuel drums. No. I think sloped armor is what we're going to do there. So we can't currently save this. The current design cannot be used in the medium tank role. And the question is, why is that? Is it because we have a 3-man turret? It might be. It's not actually telling us. But we're currently on bogey suspension. We should probably go for... What is our current reliability? 65? Let's bring that up to about 80. And then we're on riveted armor here. Cast armor is slightly better, but it's also slightly more expensive to produce. This engine type, I would like it to be... Oh, that's terrible reliability. The diesel engine would be a little too much reliability, whereas the gasoline engine is, I think, the way to go. That said, we could go with the diesel engine and bump up our engine a bit. So this would end up being like 3 and 3. This upgrade goes to 4 and 4. This is actually kind of reasonable here. But we can't currently save this. Max speed is below the 4 km/h minimum. So we do need to have that max speed get a little bit better. So it would have to be something like that. I don't like that. Okay, so we're going to need additional max speed in this. So instead of having, say, the additional machine guns, we do have the heavy machine gun on here already. We could instead go for something along the lines of... Do any of these increase our speed? No, actually, they don't. Okay, so that is fine. We could change our suspension. Yeah, something like this. So at this point, we can't save this because it can't be used in the medium tank role. I am assuming this is because of the turret. So we could try the, say, 2-man turret. No. Okay. So why can't this be used in the medium role? Remove the module that forbids the role to be able to switch to it. What module forbids the role? It would be good to know this. I'm not entirely certain which module forbids this role, but this is the tank that I want to put together here. Well, I guess we have to go through these and try to figure it out. Which is mildly annoying. So this is our main armament, which is a basic anti-air gun. I kind of feel like maybe that should be a heavy cannon instead. Heavy armaments require medium fixed superstructure in a turret slot. Okay, so it was indeed that. Gotcha. It's this X up here, presumably. So we need medium fixed superstructure. Now it can't be used in a medium tank role again. Okay. So is this more of a heavy tank? Well, it could be a tank destroyer. But it can't actually be a medium tank. I'm assuming it's due to the gun. So we would have this instead be perhaps a basic small cannon. Yeah, now this can be a medium tank. Okay, beautiful. So we're going to start working on that. And we'll produce that guy. And I want to bring this up, and I want to have, well, a bunch of factories working on it. For now, 2 will do. Okay, so we'll get that going, and we'll start producing some amount of armor. Now, we're not currently recruiting a medium tank armored division. So I want to edit this. This is currently light tanks. Noted. So we would need these to be medium tanks. We're a bit low on our amount of experience to change this. We've got some motorized infantry over here as well. We may want to simply remove these. Again, these templates are definitely going to be modified. And this is going to cost us 45. Okay. We might want to just do an all-new division. So we could delete any of these divisions that are currently not being utilized. That's probably for the best, because we're likely not to use them. Okay, let's hop into the division designer, and we'll reset this. Okay, so this is currently what it is. So this is our armored division. I kind of want to create an empty division here. And this is going to end up being a medium tank and a medium tank. And then could we toss in, say, support artillery? We don't have the ability to do that right now. For now, I'm just going to call this our medium tank template, and we'll train this. This is not our final template. I just want to have some amount of tanks being produced. Okay, so we'll get that going. That'll be reasonably fine. We'll get our templates actually set up next episode, but it is time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we'll start working on some actual templates, but we don't really have the experience for it. We're going to need to get ourselves changed over, though. Eventually, we'll hit some thresholds here where I think we're going to start being able to take decisions to do that. Hopefully. That would be nice. Eventually, we'll be able to do things. I hope. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Kentogan, Ali Lee, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.